Fortnite has only been out for a little over 2 years for us now, and throughout that time, you would think the game couldn't go a week without something riling everyone up. We're talking big controversies involving pro players, mainstream media, and of course, Epic Games themselves. I've covered a lot of this news and big stories for you guys in the past, but today, let's take a look back and check out the top 10 biggest scandals in Fortnite history. I'm your second favorite PE teacher, Denver. If you're new to the channel, check to see that you're subscribed and hit that like button, and use code thatdenverguyYT in the item shop. Let me know what you think was the biggest controversy in Fortnite so far. Do not miss number 1 and 2 on this list because I couldn't decide which one was worse, and I need your guys' help. All right, let's get started. Number 10, the addiction problem. Since Fortnite's release and rise in popularity, parents, teachers, and the mainstream media have been warning about the dangers of Fortnite's addictiveness. Now, I'm not going to lie, there have been times where I've been playing late at night, I tell myself just one more match, and all of a sudden, 10 games later, it's 2 a.m. But this one class action lawsuit in Canada going on is calling Fortnite as addictive as, we'll just say, a very harmful and dangerous thing to ingest. That doesn't seem right at all to me. Still, the suit also goes on saying that Epic Games is intentionally designing their game to be as addictive as possible. If that's true, shouldn't there be warnings like there are on cigarette packages and stuff? At least that's what the lawsuit is saying. One poll said only 20% of parents have trouble getting their kids off the game, so it might be an issue. Okay, yeah, maybe it is a little bit of an issue, but not a huge one. Definitely not as big as some of the lawsuits in the media are making it out to be. Just like with everything in life, moderation is key. Either way, the addiction problem has brought a ton of negative attention towards the game, especially to those who don't play. Number 9, Ninja versus stream sniping. It's the infamous Ninja versus stream sniper moment that turned into a meme in like 2 minutes and spread across the entire Fortnite community. What happened was that Ninja was playing some squad games on stream, and maybe he was having a rough night or something, because when he got eliminated, he went on to report his killer for stream sniping, even threatening to get him 100% banned from the game. Take a look.
Oh. Laser! Watch for the emote, watch for the emote, watch for the emote.
Guys,
no,
these guys,
no. Oh my god, dude.
Wow, dude, look how good he's at building.
Look at him, he's showing you. He's showing you the way, dude.
Wow, look how good he's at building.
Oh, there's the emote, there it is!
There it is, dude. 4-player, stream, sniping. You gotta love proof, you know what I mean? You gotta always love when there's proof.
So apparently just a little dancing makes you a stream sniper. This led to a ton of people calling Ninja out, saying this type of reaction for someone with as much influence as him is just plain inappropriate, and that potentially he could be getting someone completely innocent banned from the game. IC5, the player accused by Ninja, said he was just playing squads with some friends. He didn't know it was Ninja. He only danced because he saw 6 spectators in the match. So of course, it made sense he emoted to show off a little. In the end, nothing happened to IC, fortunately. Ninja even went on to apologize, so there's a happy ending here somewhere. But it really begged the question, what if nobody said anything? What if there wasn't a Reddit post and there weren't any people on Twitter defending this guy? Would somebody who we can't prove is guilty get banned? Do top influencers have that power? It doesn't seem like it, but you never know what could have happened if the community didn't band together and have this guy's back. Number 8, FOV fiasco. Okay, so in number 8, remember when stretch resolutions were a thing? For those who don't, PC players used to be able to modify some settings to sort of squish their screens in a way that actually let them have a higher FOV, or field of view. And a higher FOV pretty much means you get to see more of the action happening on your screen. Stretch resolutions weren't a big deal since everyone in the competitive community loved the increased vision. Makes sense given how small the default FOV is and how important it is to see as much as you can in this game, especially in box fights. But Epic must have thought otherwise, because right before the World Cup qualifiers began in April, they announced they would be locking our FOVs to the default resolution, meaning no more stretched res. After that, everybody was thinking, okay, Epic is maybe going to add an FOV slider, right? It's a pretty standard setting. A lot of games like Overwatch, Apex Legends, and even Minecraft have it, leaving it to the player how they want their game to look. But to this day, Epic Games hasn't given us the option to adjust our field of view. They even came out and said they don't plan on ever adding it for various reasons, like reducing potential motion sickness, which was proven wrong, and keeping the game running smooth, all reasons the competitive community thought were a joke. The community begged and still asks to this day, but Epic seems pretty adamant. So sadly, it's unlikely we'll ever see the ability to change our FOV ever again. Okay guys, just before we get into the next epic one about really funny dances, I always get asked how to get better at Fortnite, and although you OGs know I used to do tips videos, my answer now is and will always be proguides.com. Why? They make mastering Fortnite simple and help you like no one else does. From pro courses to professional coaches to guide you through the process, ProGuides has everything you need to get better at Fortnite. But if you don't want to bother leaving YouTube, I get it, then guess what? They have a YouTube channel as well. They post super solid tips and tricks daily, so definitely check them out. Links in the description below. And thank you ProGuides for sponsoring another awesome video. Next up, number 7, stealing dances. Dance emotes are no doubt one of the biggest moneymakers Fortnite has, and it's no secret that out of the over 100 dances so far, many are inspired by pop culture, like the Swipe It emotes from the Season 5 Battle Pass based on a dance move by rapper 2 Milli. The Floss, people were doing that way before Fortnite. And then there's the Fresh emote. We all know that's just Carlton from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. There are plenty more instances of Fortnite ripping off dance moves if you want to call it that, but those examples like creators taking Epic to court in an attempt to take back what they were calling theirs. And this is where the controversy comes in. Plenty of people think that Epic Games taking these dance moves they know will sell like hotcakes and not paying the creators anything at all is wrong. And some say it's okay, that the dance moves aren't too complicated, that they can't be copywritten or trademarked. It depends on how you look at it, but so far the courts seem to have sided with Epic Games. Pretty much all the lawsuits got dropped after the courts couldn't determine just yet if a person can own such simple dance moves. Maybe later on we'll see something else come of it, but what do you guys think? Is what Epic did or still does wrong? Or does a dance belong to more than just the creator once it becomes a cultural phenomenon? I'll let you guys decide. Number 6, Summer Skirmish Week 2. This event was a bit different than most tournaments. Instead of pitting the players against each other, they queued into solo matches and went for kills and wins to gain points. Now the $130,000 winner was a PS4 player named I Drops Bodies. Remember that name? No one knew who this guy was, so it was strange to everyone, even the pros, that somebody on console could come out of nowhere and dominate one of the first ever huge Fortnite events. It was so strange, in fact, people did some digging. They went onto his Fortnite tracker to look up stats, reviewed his old gameplay, and gathered as much evidence as they could to take this guy down. It was all put into a Reddit thread that garnered over 40,000 upvotes. Basically, the arguments boiled down to, this guy isn't that good at the game, he's never played this well, so he must have gotten some friends to feed him kills. I have to admit, things did seem a little suspicious, but Epic ran their internal investigation, and based on their results, they concluded I Drops Bodies didn't cheat. But some, even today, still think that Epic covered it all up. I feel like that's just silly, especially since Bodies was known for being a top player in games before Fortnite. So he was probably just feeling it that day. He might have popped off hard, but he hasn't done anything since. So is he guilty, or was this just one of the worst bandwagon hate trains that we've seen in Fortnite? Number 5, the Infinity Blade. Next, the disaster that was the Infinity Blade being the first mythic rarity item ever put out. Epic must have wanted to make it insanely powerful because, spoiler alert, it was insanely powerful. We're talking the wielder having double health, crazy movement speed, and the ability to destroy pretty much everything in their path. And there was only one blade that spawned at the same spot every match, so everyone would scramble there, fight over it, and half the lobby would be dead within the first few minutes. We still to this day are wondering why they thought that this would be balanced and should be in the game. What's even worse is that Epic released this weapon on the exact same day as the $1 million Winter Royale event. They gave participants no warnings. They just sort of threw this curveball that completely changed how the game was played. So casuals were upset the whole flow of the game was ruined, and pros who spent weeks practicing for a big tournament had the entire meta shifted with zero warning. Pro player Bizzle went on Twitter and said, "Can't believe I put my full time into Fortnite," and they pulled 2 updates before a major tournament. Huge loss of respect for Fortnite. Thankfully, all the negative press, it didn't take long for Epic to revert this catastrophe. Only 3 days after its release, the Infinity Blade was vaulted. This tweet is their second most liked post ever, showing just how much everyone hated the sword. They even went as far as taking the blame, something we don't often see from Epic. Number 4, Tfue suing FaZe Clan. Back in May, Tfue launched a claim against his former team FaZe Clan so he can get out of what was being called a grossly oppressive contract. FaZe rebutted, saying how the contract they signed with Tfue was old and was made before Tfue was the Fortnite behemoth he is today. So yeah, of course, it had conditions that didn't really benefit Turner. He was much smaller than he is today, and it was probably a good deal at the time. But on Tfue's end, he said he was trying to get out of the contract for months and that FaZe wasn't accepting any negotiations.
This is about me and this contract that I signed when I didn't know any better. I'm an idiot. I should have never signed it in the first place.
The deal he had let FaZe control all his sponsorships and made it so they could, if they wanted to, take up to 80% of his earnings. So ultimately, he felt taking FaZe to court was the only option. Of course, a lot of people love Tfue, and FaZe is one of the most popular orgs out there, so there were swarms of loyal fans on both ends arguing who's wrong. The answer isn't clear cut, but in terms of the law, this case might actually set some legal precedent in what it means to be an esports player. I'll spare you the boring details, but the most recent update to this case ruled in Tfue's favor. This just happened, so maybe we'll see Tfue win the whole thing, get away from FaZe Clan for good, and hopefully some positive change to how esports orgs treat their talent. Number 3, we are winding down to the end of the video. FaZe Jarvis banned for cheating. We had to include this one. Jarvis, a popular content creator with over 2 million subs, uploaded a video to his channel showing himself hacking in Fortnite. He had an aimbot. He could see players through walls. It was ridiculous, as if aim assist on controller wasn't enough. No offense, controller people. I love you. The video went down pretty quickly, but of course, Epic found out and struck him with the ban hammer. He came out with an apology video where he seemed really regretful for what he did. It was just for content, but honestly, what was he thinking? How did no one tell him this was a horrible idea? Maybe it's because he's young, he was just unaware of the consequences, but across every gaming community, cheating or using hacks is essentially the ultimate sin. And even though Jarvis said not to use them, he was still profiting from and sort of glorifying cheats to his impressionable audience. But should he be banned forever? A lot of people think so. You guys already know where I stand on this. People can learn from their mistakes, so why not shorten the ban to something like a year? He can take time to reflect and eventually come back to the game if it still is hot and existing, actually, he loves so dearly. I get Epic has a zero tolerance policy on cheating, but maybe they should reconsider that approach. At this point, only time will tell if Jarvis can ever play again. Number 2, World Cup cheaters, a decision that made many in the pro community lose nearly all respect for Epic Games. To set the stage, it was week 3 of the World Cup qualifiers, and a player named Ziff came in 2nd place. He qualified for the World Cup finals, so of course, people went through his gameplay to see how he did it and learn from him. That's when people discovered he and his duo partner Ronaldo were both being fed kills. That's right, his friends were landing right next to them just to feed them a kill and give them a free point. While Ziff and Ronaldo are both talented, crazy talented players, the circumstances seemed too suspicious, so Epic ran their internal investigation and concluded, yes, Ziff, Ronaldo, and the other players involved cheated. Epic forfeited Ziff's final spot, took their prize money, and a great punishment all around, or so we thought. But here's the kicker, they only banned them for 14 days. That means starting on week 6 of the event, they could qualify again, which they did. They qualified for duos together and played in New York, some calling it an absolute slap in the face to every pro player who gave it their all to make it to the big stage. But some people did feel a little bit better when Ziff and Ronaldo got booed at the World Cup. Overall, the whole situation was a mess. Ziff and Ronaldo are actually very nice people. Unfortunately, this situation will shadow any good thing they ever try to do again. And I said it once before, but they fully paid for Fortnite player Zyle and his family to attend the World Cup completely free. And if you don't know Zyle, his dad was and still is battling cancer. So prayers for Zyle and his dad, and respect to Ziff and Ronaldo for that one. And we are on the last one, guys, the worst scandal we've ever seen in Fortnite history. This is number 1, hashtag remove the mech. For months, the community and pro players have been telling Epic to stop making such drastic changes to the game, especially ones that hurt building, the core mechanic. But Epic's philosophy was they wanted everyone to experience that feeling of getting a win, which is totally fine. You shouldn't have to be the best just to get a win, but their approach, it was dead wrong, releasing totally destructive and overpowered items in an attempt to guide new players to victory. It just doesn't work. Season X was this game's lowest point that we might ever see in the game. I think most of us can agree. Facing those mechs, it felt so frustrating and downright impossible to win against a lot of the time. Even using them wasn't even that fun. It was effortless. It wasn't even rewarding at all. The community banded together against these mechs for what felt like the entire season. People boycotted Epic Games, like Dakota's. He didn't want to spend a dime in the item shop. Even Marshmallow, who doesn't play competitively, joined the battle. And the worst part is, we were right all along. Epic waited something like 3 weeks, but they eventually nerfed the brutes. Then toward the end of the season, they were disabled completely. Epic's approach really showed how they felt about their player base, the competitive community, and revealed a lot about their stubbornness. But hey, people can learn from their mistakes, and hopefully so can Epic. This season's been going great so far, in my opinion. Let me know what you guys think. Hopefully they can keep it in the right direction. I'm your second favorite PE teacher, Denver. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and use code thatdenverguyYT in the item shop to support me. Thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next video. Love, Denver.